Hello everyone, Luke here. Welcome to my latest MyTeam video. It is time for round 8 of the season and it is another tricky city street circuit. It's the Baku city circuit for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We did very well at Monaco, actually managing to come home in 5th position. Nick, despite finishing ahead of me at qualifying, dropped down in the race and ended up retiring. I've managed to work my way up now to 6th in the Drivers' Championship on 56 points. Nick remains 15th on 5 points, meaning the team are in 5th place. But as you can see, we're only 4 points behind Alpha Tauri at the moment. We are currently on our joint longest run of scoring points. We've scored points in our last 8 races, all 7 this season, and the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at the end of last season. Hopefully, we'll be able to make it our 9th straight top 10 finish here in Azerbaijan. Let's get this qualifying session then underway here at Baku. Nice and sunny here in qualifying. I can guarantee it won't be like that for the race. Rain is forecast for the first part of the race at least, probably until at least halfway through. We'll see what that's going to make it like. It's going to make it very interesting. What it does mean is that even if we do somehow sneak into the top 10 in qualifying for the first time ever, we'll get a fresh start of tyres anyway, because I imagine everyone will have to start the race on a set of the intermediate tyres. Not really driven around here much in the wet at all. This practice session, all the practice sessions I should say, what we did around here were fully dry, so it's going to be a challenge in the wet. We seem to struggle on traction as well. It's where we lose a lot of time, and in the wet that is more important than ever to make sure you get a good exit through these corners. It's a very tight and twisty circuit, Baku, especially in that middle part of the track as you go through the castle section. But unlike Monaco, it's got these very long, flat-out sections, which means you need a good amount of engine power. You can't just rely on sticking loads of downforce on your car, otherwise you'll be too slow in a straight line. We're currently down in 15th as we come around the final real corner on this track. You've got these curves towards the end, but they're all just flat out now towards the finish. So let's see where we are going to end up. Currently down in 15th position. Are we going to somehow manage to boost our way up slightly as we head towards the finish line? DRS open, we won't be able to use that for the start of the race. Keeping to the left hand side of the track to try and shorten the line. It looks like we are going to qualify then in 15th position. Not as high up as I'd have liked. That obviously means I'm going to have 14 cars shoving all their spray towards me in the race.
Let's review our top 3 today.
Nick has managed to get 13th place. My rival Sebastian Vettel is in 9th. You can see it's fairly close in that midfield section at the moment. I was only 0.2 of a second behind Nick. I'm not too far off Vettel in 9th place. I'm only about 0.3 of a second behind him, and I always do better. I always do better in the race. Hamilton on pole, Perez second, Bottas third. Let's see what the race has in store for us.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Bottas, Stroll, Max Verstappen and Leclerc, Albon, Ricciardo, Vettel and Esteban Ocon, Kvyat, Gasly, Nick de Vries and Magnussen, the owner driver, Norris, Roman Grosjean and Antonio Giovinazzi, Sainz, Latifi, Boccolacci and George Russell ends our grid lineup. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Time for the race then here in Azerbaijan. You can see it is intermediate tyre conditions. The strategies are pretty much pointless no matter which one you go for. You're either going to have to stretch a set of intermediate tyres an incredibly long way by the looks of things until it stops raining, or you're going to have to take the extra risk of taking that second pit stop to put on a set of dry tyres towards the end of the race after you've already changed to a set of intermediates earlier. So, not really sure what's going to happen in this race. We'll just have to sort of play it by ear. Hopefully, though, we can still get some good points. Oh, Hamilton from pole position. Out of the race. I don't know whether he's broke down or if he's had contact with someone. That's another position gain. We're just outside the points at the moment now. We're in 11th. Jeff says it's dry enough for the slick tyres, and I'm inclined to believe him. So into the pits we come, pushing as hard as possible. On pit entry, just about getting stopped in time. A lot of drivers seem to be going for the soft tyres. Do you know what? I fancy taking the set of mediums. Right until the end of this race, we'll see how it goes. Mediums on, out we go. A few other drivers have had to stay out on track. I'm interested that people have gone for the soft tyres. There's no chance in hell of them making those tyres last until the end, so I just need to be careful on mine. We're down in 14th, but there are still drivers yet to pit. Gasly just cruising past me with the DRS assistance and on the softer tyres. I'm just hoping that I can hold on these mediums and that their soft tyres wear out very quickly, because they are really putting some laps on me. I'm probably the slowest driver in the field at the moment, but I won't have to make another pit stop, whereas everyone else will. That's what I'm hoping for with this strategy. That's Nick sailing past. I'm down to 13th. I am struggling. I am struggling for any grip, and I think this is going to become a common theme, getting past. Down the main straight. Basically every single lap from now on. Hopefully though, hopefully these drivers in front struggle on the softs, because they're either going to have to make another pit stop or take them an exceptionally long time. There's Giovinazzi with a fantastic run. I might as well just let it happen, because I'll get DRS off him down the next straight anyway. So that's another position lost. We're down to 14th. We are starting to feel a lot more comfortable though on these medium tyres, and we're not really losing as much time as we were a couple of laps to go. Says to me the softs have probably had the best of their tyres already. I was just a bit too slow out of there to really get a chance to have a go at Giovinazzi here, so I'm going to stay in 14th position for now. Wouldn't be surprising though if we see a few pit stops soon off of the soft tyres. Me and Giovinazzi both had a big slide through that middle part of the S's. Just about able to go all the way around the outside into turn 1 to retake the position. That says a lot about the grip levels of these soft tyres. They don't last long at all. We should start reeling those in. We've got ahead of us earlier on. Whether we're going to get any points, I'm not so sure, but we could definitely have some fun at the end of this race. As you can see, there has been a few pit stops. We've come out in 12th place after all that. Ocon just about managed to stay ahead of us, which is quite annoying indeed. This probably means points are off the table now. It's going to be very hard to see how we get points from this situation. I'm going to keep pushing though. I'm going to keep trying my best to see if we can somehow sneak into the top 10. But for now, we're in 12th. 5 laps to go then. Gasly has been into the pits. That moves us up into 11th position, where we were after the first set of pit stops, where we were after the first lap really. Well, now we've just got to see if anything happens to those drivers ahead and make sure we're close enough to take advantage. We're definitely still setting a good pace on those medium tyres, but unsurprisingly everyone around us is faster. Final lap of the race then, we are going to come home in 11th position, just missing out on the points, slightly annoyingly. It was all down to that first stint. In the wet weather, we just weren't quick enough. We dropped a long way behind everyone else. We tried something different on the strategy. The game was suggesting that we should go for the soft. I thought I'd go for the mediums. In the end, it's probably not made too much of a difference to the race positions, really. I was about 10 seconds behind Ocon before the pit stops, and if you look at the moment, I'm probably going to finish about 10 seconds behind him as well at the end of the race, so not really made too much of a difference. It's a shame a shame that that point streak that we were on is going to end here as well. I really thought we might get a better result at Azerbaijan than we did at Monaco. But in the end, the wet race just ruined us. We were always going to struggle in the wet. It's one of my weaknesses, and it was only because we managed to defend from everyone else behind in that wet stint that they probably didn't run off the road as well, and they'd have been miles ahead of us. You can see here my teammate and Pierre Gasly are trying to catch me up on the final lap of the race, but I am going to do enough to hold off from the pair of them. It's not been any points, but I'm pretty impressed with my pace towards the end of this race on these medium tyres. I think I did a fairly good job of keeping the tyres in a good condition. That's going to be helpful as the season goes on, but as we head towards the finish line down this incredibly long straight, just outside the points in 11th. So there's the results from the race. I finished in 11th, Nick finished in 12th position. Not too bad I suppose. In the end, quite a few retirements as well, but quite a bit of chaos clearly happening towards the end of that race. It would have been nice to get some more points. Also, finishing in the top 10 gets us a bit of a better bonus, but you can't have it your own way all the time. Now let's have a word with Claire and see what she has to say about a race that I was fairly happy with her dry pace, just in the wet. I'm far too slow at the moment.
You were cutting your way through the field during the race.
Let's make the chassis department feel better, because I really need to upgrade that at some point.
Good day for you?
I'll say they went well.
How do you feel the weather affected the outcome today?
Yeah, definitely made it interesting with the weather.
For your performance today?
Oh, she loves answering questions, well, asking the questions today.
Appreciate your time.
I thought we had a chance of points. I'm going to be honest, I really thought we could score some points here. For one reason or another, it just didn't happen. You know, you get races like that. The rivalry, you can see with Vettel, it's going to be, I think, he's just going to be ahead, 8-7. Ferrari seem to be finding some form once again, so I need to hope that I do well in the next few races. I'm just off of driver acclaim level 15, Nick's just off of level 11, the team are at level 17, and we will have hit 2 of the targets for the cash bonuses off our sponsors. Oh no! Apparently we got a bonus for achieving a top 10 finish during the race. Your guess is as good as mine, unsurprisingly. A fair bit of damage occurring around the Azerbaijan circuit. 2 street circuits down then, Monaco and Azerbaijan, and the next race is one that's kind of a street circuit as well, the Canadian Grand Prix around the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve will be round 9 of the season, and hopefully we can get ourselves back into the points. We had a pretty good result there in season 1, managing to make a 2-stop strategy work, where most of our rivals who did go for a 2-stop strategy were on the mediums on the end, and we were on the soft tyres on the end. So maybe, just maybe, it'll be worth trying something similar to that. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.